Because we said, well, people with a family history must have a higher predisposition. And so people with a first degree relative, a father or a brother that's had, well, they're high risk. And so we should at least start testing them earlier. The aggressive cancers tend to occur earlier. But it's true that probably every week people are finding new genes that contribute to that risk, rather than just the hearsay of family history. Looking at DNA to see what elements of that family history are there that are linked to prostate cancer. And so now there are systems where you can search the whole genome to see all the genes that are related to prostate cancer and try to calculate that risk. It hasn't reached quite the strength of the family history. So if, say, a brother with that history means your risk of getting prostate cancer is twice the general population. Whereas the best genome studies we have mean that you're 50% higher, than the general population. But that's still relevant, because a man who knows that they're at higher risk by 50% has the option of testing earlier and being more rigorous in the way that they do that testing. In the past we used to say, if you've had the prostate gland taken out, which is the definitive treatment for prostate cancer, then if your PSA becomes normal again, as if you've got a prostate, well then the cancer must have come back. Whereas now we're sort of saying that no, if you've had the prostate taken out, your levels of PSA must be virtually zero. And any increase in these ultrasensitive levels means that there may be an early recurrence. The problem is, of the men that have a radical prostatectomy, 1/3 of them have a PSA which is undetectable and nothing happens. 1/3 of them have a PSA which never became undetectable and progresses, which is unfortunate. That's the group we're trying to improve on. And then 1/3 of them have a PSA which is undetectable and becomes detectable. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that they've got an aggressive cancer back? And usually it doesn't. It means that they've got some less malignant cells that have remained behind and won't cause a problem. Well, the quicker we can get that understanding, the more reassurance that man can have about living a normal life and feeling, a sense that their surgery was all worthwhile. But there's also this other form of treatment which is called active surveillance, which sounds like you do nothing except watch, but it's actually watching very closely. You know that there's something there, and you're wondering what it's going to do, so you watch it very closely, and then as soon as there is some evidence that it needs treatment, then immediately you jump on it. At the moment, we're suggesting you should start at an earlier age, 45 or 50, because many men with a family history have cancer which is too late to treat by the age of 55 or 60. Well, you need to detect it 5 or 10 years beforehand, so you'd need to start at an earlier age. Once there is a family history, the recommendation is you should think of starting at age 40 or something like 10 years before that relative got theirs.